In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a style board in InDesign. If you're brand new to InDesign, this will introduce you to some of the basics of creating files in this software. If you've used InDesign before, this will be old hat. So when we talk about a style board, this is a document that brings together assets to show an overall feeling or style that you're trying to convey. When you try to get a design idea across to someone, you're trying to show them, I want to make, say, a water bottle, but I want to do it in the style of blank. So the style board helps convey, this is how this design is going to feel. If you're doing a restaurant concept, like building a new restaurant for a burger joint or something. If you're designing a university and a place of learning, if you want to design a pendant that is a piece of jewelry, they all have a distinct style. They can feel nostalgic. They could feel ornate, delicate, and very expensive. They can feel simple and lush. They can be modern, right? These are all styles. The style board brings together lots of elements into one page to convey, this is the feeling I am looking for. This is the overall style. InDesign is a great tool to do style boards in because it brings together assets into one cohesive page or a set of pages. Let me show you how InDesign works and what it's really about. So as I switch over here to InDesign, this is a style board that is already created. This one by Alex Egner, who's design faculty, and I worked with him for a little while at the University of North Texas. Notice in this file, we have images. Some of these images are locked down. Some of these images here, we have color, and we also have textures, and then illustrations and typography, and a little bit of type. I'll bring some of these up and unlock them so we can move them around. So see these boxes? These are picture boxes, or I guess they're actually called rectangle frame tool, the rectangular frames that hold images. So the images in this document aren't actually in the document. They are held on your computer in a folder, and they show through these windows in InDesign. One really cool part about InDesign is it makes it easy to crop images. So I can select an image and see it's like sliding around all inside there. So these boxes simply are a placeholder or a window through which we look where these images appear. Let me kick over to the Finder here. Here are the assets, links, and look at that, my source images. So these images live on my computer, but they show through these image boxes. I won't go deep into this concept because there are many different videos that do this well, but let's dig in and do some of the parts of InDesign that we need to make a style board, or at least get started. So I'm going to close this file and tell it, nope, I don't want to save it. And it takes me back to a blank welcome kind of screen here in InDesign. I'm going to create a new file. I just want a new document. I get a dialog box here, and if you're new to print design, picas is a measure of a unit of measure we oftentimes use. I'm going to go to inches just to keep this simple. Let's make this board 17 inches wide by 11 inches tall. That way it's tabloid size. You'll look here, like many page layout softwares, are margins and gutters and columns, etc. So right now, ½ inch is fine for me. I'm going to do create. So now we have a 17 by 11 page that has a bunch of tools and stuff around here too. Your palettes that show up on the sides may be different than mine. I'm going to have a very basic group of palettes. We're just going to use a few for this tutorial. If you have more and others, then don't worry about them. They're great. We won't use them in this video. So look on the right side here for a Pages palette. That is the most important palette for InDesign. It is a page layout software, so I can start adding tons of pages to my document. In this style board, we just need one page. So don't worry about multi-page documents yet. That'll be for a different kind of work. I'm going to take these pages and delete them though. Go down here to the trash can and get rid. I just need one. So remember how InDesign has picture boxes that we see through, that we add images to? Let's first get some images to work with, and then we'll add them to our file. So we're doing a style board here. Let me switch over to Chrome, and I've got a few windows open where I can view some assets. First off, let's say we're going to do a project where I want to communicate a sense of coziness. That's the word the style I really want to go for. I'm here at pexels.com, which is a stock photo website that's royalty-free photography. And I already brought up a few windows. So if I do the search for cozy, I get some images in here. Some of these are pretty cozy. Some I think are pretty close to the feeling I want. In fact, that green ceramic mug is exactly the feeling I want. Look how soft and cozy it feels. I'm going to download that one. Also, here's another one. That's a very cozy room. I'm going to do that one too. Just for example, give you a few. Style boards consist of images, but then also patterns, typography, color swatches, lots of different parts. I'll show you how to do a few of these. First, I've got a pattern here that I looked up. Look how cozy that yarn looks in a sweater. I definitely want that one. That's going to go in my style board. And then typography also is a part of a style board. While that one downloads, I'll jump over here. At myfonts.com, you can go check out typefaces for purchase. Lots of different places you can find type. But let's say this TT Fellows typeface is one that is exactly what I want to showcase. I think that's going to be a great cozy typeface for my design. I'll go down here and find these really thick versions right here. I'm going to do a screenshot of these. So I'm doing Command-Shift-4 on the Mac, which gives me a selectable screenshot, and then I'm just going to drag around an image. I think that typeface is going to be perfect for my style. So now I've got a pattern, the cozy sweater, a few images, and then also a screenshot of a typeface. This is a great start for doing a style board. So let's go into our style board, and I'll show you how to do some text boxes as well as image boxes or these frames, though I'm not going to lay it out perfectly. I'll just show you some of the basics. First, I want this document to have some columns to help guide my design. So I'm going to increase the number of columns. Just to go back to that, layout, margins and columns. And then I'll go here to create multiple columns. Let's say I want maybe 6 columns is pretty good. I'm going to make that 0.5 inches in between. I don't like that. 0.2 inches. 0.25 inches. A quarter inch in between. That's pretty good. Columns are super helpful for guiding your design. It's like a basic grid for organizing your stuff. Here's where I'm going to create one of these image boxes or these rectangular frames. And I'm going to select that tool, and then I can click and drag to create that box. On the Mac, I can hold down the Option key and drag to duplicate. Really easy. I'm going to hold down Option and then drag, and it makes a copy that's exactly the same. I'll just do 3 of these. Then I'm going to scoot them down a little bit. I used Shift. I held down Shift and clicked all 3 to grab them all. Then I can drag more boxes down. If I want smaller boxes, I can drag these and resize them. And I can even make them as small as one of these column areas. So these are holders for your images. Let's put one of those images inside. So these are empty containers that we want to show an image through. I'll select one of those images, and then you'll have to forgive me, Command D is place. Where is that one? You're laughing at me right now if you've done this before. Command D is place. To place an image, do... I'm having to look for this, which makes this a really kind of excruciating video for you to have to watch right now. File, place, there we go. So it's under File, File, Place. Now I can choose my image, which is in my Downloads folder. There it is. And see how it's huge in there? It placed it, but it's massive. I'm going to pinch and scale that down. So notice how this image shows inside my frame. See how you can see that slight outline? So you can put your image in there and then move it around using this direct selection tool, the one that is filled in. The one that's, the one that's hollow, my bad. The one that's hollow allows you to select the content inside. The one that is the regular selection tool will select the object itself. I can do this process again, select the frame, go down to place, and then put another image in. Then I can scale that down to get it just the right size so I see what I need to see. If I want to show off my typography, I'm using Command D now to do my quick one. I can grab that typography and I can place it inside a box. And then I can grow that box to reveal it so I can see that typeface. I double clicked it and then I'm moving it over so I can see what that typeface looks like and how that complements my style. The last step is color. In InDesign, you can create colors and show color palettes that help flesh out your style and convey the overall color palette you want to use. Go to Window, Color, to show your color palette right here. In these cases, you're going to use the regular rectangle because we're not putting an image inside these. We're just going to fill them with color. Select that regular image, that regular rectangle, create your rectangle, and then we'll need to add a color to that, which you can use your color selectors here. I'm using CMYK to make that color box. So I'm going to do actually I want a really warm and cozy, very warm palette here. So I'm going to use a lot of warm colors. So I'm going to Option drag again to make another box to duplicate it the same size. I'm going to squeeze it down a little smaller and drag it up to bump it up against. And now I'll choose its color. And see, I can start to make a color palette with that box right there. Make sure you always save your work like anything. So we're going to do a save. Save that InDesign file right there. And now I've got all of my, I've got my style board start with my images placed inside it. One huge thing to remember, the images for your style board or images in InDesign don't live inside the image. Don't throw them away. Those images don't live inside InDesign. They live on their own. If you throw them away, they won't show up in InDesign anymore. So keep all your assets together. If I look again at this folder that was from Alex's work, you'll see those images are in a folder called Links, and then there's the referencing InDesign file. The InDesign file only holds those images, shows them through its portals. So it's best to create a folder that's called Assets or Images or Links if you want. Put your images inside there, keep them with your InDesign file. Keep them right next to each other, maybe even in the same folder. That way you won't throw some images away and then go, oh no, I lost my images because, and now my InDesign file does not show correctly. Last step, one great thing here, as I pop into InDesign, you can export for PDF, super easy. If I do File, Export, and then I can choose PDF, a print level PDF will be a high-res PDF. Save that thing out to the desktop, tell it high quality, or I can do screen quality, lots of different options. I'll go into those details some other day. And then on my desktop, I've got my style board PDF. Nice, clean, and ready to go. Okay, so that's a quick look at style boards and InDesign. We'll go into more detail in other videos and later on in our travels together. But I hope that helps get you started with creating a sense of style with a style board and using InDesign to bring all those assets together.